I was really going off and going at the wall. I was in the grass to the left. Got a bit of asphalt, the car stepping up. Whoop, continued on. Whoa.
Welcome to NARS Super Trofeo Cup Round 9, presented by Champion Motorsport, Storm Gang Simulation, Optical Dream Soft, Overdub Design, Habley Risky, Barry DiMarzo, Brian B, JM Track, Sim Race 247, Com, Grid Finder, Sim Grid, Apex Modding, and Grand Touring Group. Our camera's on Paul Ibbotson in the PRO. Track temperature 43 degrees, and it's dry out there for now. In AM, Frank Radowski tops the times 146.7. That's 0.40 quicker than Carl Schroeder. Our camera's on Daniel Kirby in the PRO. On board with Frank Radowski in the AM. On board with Paul Ibbotson in the PRO. Our camera's on James Bowders in the AM. Riding on board with Frank Radowski in the AM. riding on board with Paul Ibbotson in the PRO. On board with Daniel Kirby in the PRO. On board with James Bowders in the AM. Onboard camera on Frank Radowski in the AM. On board with Karl Struhol in the AM. AM leader, Frank Radowski, 146.1. Our cameras on Norm Graf in the PRO. On board with Gilles Alanda in the PRO. AM, Frank Radowski goes fastest with a 1:46.0. Riding on board with Karl Struhol in the AM. In AM, Karl Struhol tops the times, 1:45.9. That's 0.11 quicker than Frank Radowski.
I'm going to move this thing on to qualifying, try to stay on time and do it the way Matt does it. So
Excellent.
sorry. If everyone would exit the track, I'll run through this real quick and we'll get on to qualifying.
Our cameras on Frank
If anybody else
Radowski in
tried
the
to
AM.
download this, but briefing, it's because it's a link instead of, to a downloaded file. But anyway, welcome to VIR, the NARS Super Trofeo Cup, the race length. We got 2 30-minute races tonight. Don't forget to remain on Discord for the race, or at least listening. If you wish to transmit, use push to talk or voice activation set high enough to avoid the broadcast of random noises. Start procedure for both races is that we start from standing grid in pairs. When lights go out, lead pair will set the pace. You know what? I moved it to race earlier and there was a pace car, so I think we follow the pace car around. At least that's the way I didn't set up the server. So anyway, it'll be an adventure and we'll find out. So no matter what happens, we'll follow around to the start finish line, and the pairs will start racing as they cross the start finish line. No acceleration, no passing cars in the pairs ahead or prior to this point. I'm just reading this verbatim, fellas. If you stall, have an off track, or otherwise lose your place during the formation lap, allow the field to pass and rejoin safely at the back. No return to previously gridded position. The qualifying for race 1 will be in qualifying order. Race 2 will be the race 1 finishing order with finishers 1 through 6, gridding from P12 through 7, which we won't have. It looks like only, we'll move those guys to the back and then we'll jumble up the front or however it works. If you guys, because there's only 8 of us. So anyway, we'll figure it out. The orange zone is from the start to the exit of turn 12. Or if 2 assigned penalties will not be cleared, because I'll be out there qualifying with you. Steward assigned penalties stemming from the race will be applied as time penalty to the driver's finishing of the applicable race. If the driver fails to finish normally the race in question, DNF or DQ, the race will be served as an active penalty in the first race of next race. Blah, blah, blah. I'm reading this. Sorry, fellas. Blue flag, as per the CMS GCR, drivers have to do, the blue flag drivers do not have to get out of the way, but may not compete or obstruct the lapping car. Lapping cars have the responsibilities for making a clean pass. Both have the responsibility for good racing behavior and to respect each other's races. Track limits are enforced by RF2. Drivers are reminded, however, that one wheel must remain on the racing surface on the white line at all times. Repeated violations of track limits are eligible for IIR by other drivers, whether you receive RF2 penalties or not. Sorry, I lost my place here. If you are spun or off track, ensure you have complete control of your car before returning to the racing line. Use relative boxes and spotters as well as your eyes to make sure you can do so safely. If you cannot maneuver your car out of the way or traffic still racing, use Control Alt Delete or Alt 4 to leave the RF2 and then rejoin. If you must pit on pit entry, set up to ensure you are well right coming out of turn 17 and enter immediately at the beginning of the entry lane. Use the fast lane to travel through the pit area, not the pit boxes. Pit to as close to the wall as your box, whether you're sharing a stall or not. on pit exit, stay right and join the racing surface on the approach to turn 1 on the right. Stay in the lane completely to the end. Drivers on a racing lap are reminded to provide at least a car width of racing room on the right of the track for traffic joining on the approach to turn 1. Drivers are reminded that crossing the pit line, boy, every time I move it, it jumps a whole page. Sorry. Drivers crossing the pit lane on entry or exit are eligible for an IR by competing drivers when there is a car entering or leaving the pits. Pitting is your own decision. Hopefully no one will have to pit, just 30-minute races. Remember the pit lane speed limiter, and there is no ghosting. In the case of an incident, please apply the golden rule, return the position lost to the driver you hit. If you wish to put in an IRR, check the CMS general competition rules on time limit and format. The race will not include darkness, but best practice is to ensure you either have lights permanently on at a race start or have a button mapped for lights, and pay attention to chat warnings or have lights set to auto in your RF2 settings. Escape means race over. If you have a serious issue, Control Alt Delete, Alt F4. That ends our factor 2, and you can rejoin or unplug the network cable and rejoin. You'll be 2 laps down, but you can still race for points. Sorry to put you through all that. Any questions?
I have a question.
Bring it.
How did you fit all the candles on your birthday cake?
We had a slice of cake that we shared, and there was no room for 58 candles, so we didn't bother.
Very nice.
But the steak was good, so ribeye. And with
Good show.
we got permission to hit next session. You guys ready for the qualifying?
Hit that button.
Pitter patter.
Here we go, folks. And thanks everybody for coming out. I know we got kind of a small dwindling crowd, but we always have good racing no matter how many
Camera
people
settles
show
on
up.
Frank
So
Radosti in the AM.
we'll have some fun.
Practice is in the books. On to qualifying now.
Good luck,
10 minutes
JD.
to find the limit.
Thank you. Try my Road America setup.
This is NARS Super Trofeo Cup. Round 9, with thanks to Champion Motorsport, Storm Gang Simulation, Optical Dream Soft Ozadugan Design, Habley Rishi, Barry DiMarzo, Brian B, JM Track, Sim Race 247, Com, Grid Finder, Sim Grid, Apex Modding, and Grand Touring Group. The camera settles on Daniel Kirby in the PRO. Clear and dry to begin, 29 degrees ambient. Our cameras on Carl Struhol in the AM. Trackside with Daniel Kirby in the PRO. No improvement for Paul Ibbotson in PRO, stays P2. James Bowders stays P3 in AM after that lap. Karl Struhal keeps provisional pole in AM after that lap. Onboard camera on Karl Struhal in the AM. That's the quickest sector 1 we've seen, Norm Graf. PRO leader, Daniel Kirby, 141.8. On board with Norm Graf in the PRO. Paul Ibbotson cannot improve in PRO, remains P2. In AM, Olivier Gervais goes fastest with a 145.7. That's 0.19 quicker than Karl Struhal. Gilles Alon moves up to P4 in class, 146.6. G. Tammy improves his first sector to 35.4, a personal best. Sector 1 for James Bowders, 36.0. Up on his own best. A 35.5 first sector for Gilles Lalonde, 0.1 seconds off the fastest so far, and a personal best. On board with Olivier Gervais in the AM. Trouble for Karl Struhal in AM. 5 minutes to go. Trackside with Frank Radosti in the AM. In the cockpit with Karl Struhal in the AM. Jim Tammy continues to improve through Sector 1. The camera settles on Paul Ibbotson in the PRO. James Bowders improves in AM with a 146.9. Riding onboard with Olivier Gervais in the AM. Olivier Gervais has problems in AM. No improvement for Paul Ibbotson in PRO, stays P2. Karl Struhal stays P3 in AM after that lap. And lights up Sector 1, 34.7, quickest of the lot and a personal best. Norm Graf goes P5 in PRO, 144.8. Onboard camera on Paul Ibbotson in the PRO. Gilles Lalonde sets a personal best through Sector 2. The camera finds Daniel Kirby in the PRO, riding on board with Gilles Lalonde in the PRO. Our camera's on J. Tammy in the PRO. That's Paul Ibbotson's best Sector 1 of the session, under pressure for P2 in class. Daniel Kirby tops the first sector with a 33.9, quickest so far and up on his own best. Norm Graf cannot improve in PRO, remains P4. 1 minute remaining. Tracking Daniel Kirby in the PRO. The camera settles on Karl Struhal in the AM. A 35.8 for Karl Struhl through Sector 1, the quickest anyone has managed and a personal best. No improvement for Norm Graf in PRO, stays P4. Paul Ibbotson improves in Sector 2, under pressure from J. Tammy for P2 in class. PRO qualifying done, and around 3.9 seconds separates pole from the slowest classified runner. PRO provisionally. Daniel Kirby in the number 201 Lamborghini STC on pole with 141.7. Paul Ibbotson second. JT Tammy third.
Well, congratulations, Daniel. 2 seconds faster than anybody. How about that? And then Paul and JT were rounding up the top three, and then Oliver, Frank, and me on the AM side of things. We got 10 minutes warm up. We'll probably just take 5.
I got to finish qualifying first.
Oh, damn! I didn't realize anybody was out there. You should have said something. Sorry, buddy. That's amateur admin hour tonight.
And he got me.
I tried to distract him, Paul. Yes. Frank, you and I are a little bit close. Look at that, 6 thousandths of a second.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty close.
All right, yeah. When this rolls in, we'll do at least 5 minutes of warm up. I'm gonna I'll
Warm-up
be right
session
back.
underway.
So we'll,
10 minutes to
I'll
prepare.
do a roll call when I come back
Qualifying
at
done.
around 5 minutes, and then we'll move this thing into racing, guys.
I kind of got lucky. I only had one good lap out of the whole qualifying. The others, I either pushed too much and spun or ended up too close to someone up front. Short track.
Welcome to NARS
145 long
Super
track.
Trofeo Cup Round 9, presented
Yeah, well,
by Champion Motorsport,
for the amount of
Storm
people
Gang
we had, we
Simulation,
were all
Optical
close
Dream
together.
Soft, Ozerdigan Design, Haley Risky, Barry DeMarzo, Brian B, JM Tracks, Sim Race 247, Com, Grid Finder, Sim Grid, Apex Modding, and Grand Touring Group. Now for AM. As it stands, Olivier Gervais in the number 82 Lamborghini STC takes pole with 1:45.7. Frank Radosti and Carl Strill complete the top three. In the cockpit with Paul Ibbotson in the PRO. Good conditions to start with, dry track and 45 degrees on the surface.
Sorry, I missed earlier. Is it a manual formation lap, or is it a safety car start?
I think it's supposed to be manual, but Carl said he advanced to
Riding
race
on board
earlier
with
and there
Daniel
was a safety
Kirby
car.
in the PRO.
So I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, I had jumped in the server to see, and when I went to race start, there was a pace car out there. So
I think that makes sense because the race time's 30 minutes flat instead of 33.
yeah, so it'll just pick up when the safety car pulls in, and then so like I say, it's an adventure. We'll find out. We'll go a little bit long on this warm up. I just now coming out of the pits. I want to do this out lap and one lap at speed if that's what we're going to do. So just letting you know, we'll go a little bit past 5 minutes.
Because it's your birthday and you'll drive if you want to.
On board once more with Paul Ibbotson in the PRO. Our cameras on Olivier Gervais in the AM. Our camera's on Gio Alonda in the PRO.
Look at a couple of these guys went faster than they qualified. Nice job, Frank.
In the cockpit with Frank
even
Radowski in the
faster.
AM.
Dang, is that your personal best? All right. Who's still out there? Yes, I guess I'll let you guys finish their lap and then we'll list it into the race. In the race. Let's see. Oh, you had gone.
Onboard camera on Gio Alonda in
Guys,
the PRO.
Guys, it's going to be a tough race, fellas, but here we go. I'm pushing the button. We're going to advance to the next session. Here it goes.
In the cockpit with Gio Alonda in the PRO. That's the end of the warm-up.
All right, 30 seconds. The leader, yeah, there is a pace car up there, isn't there?
Yep.
All right, go when it goes green.
in pair.
Daniel Kirby under
Right.
pressure from Jay Tammy for the class lead.
With this pace car, let's just go racing when it says green. Green, everybody goes racing. Just be careful, let's not have
You're
any
watching NARS
accidents.
Super Trofeo
Because
Cup,
you said
round
in pair in the
9.
briefing.
Yeah,
so
that's what
Association
I
with
said,
Champion
'cause- but
Motorsports,
I
Storm
didn't-
Gang
We have a pace
Simulation,
car.
Optical
We have a
Dream
pace
Soft,
car, so we're
Zerdigan
gonna
Design,
go when
Haley
it says
Risky,
green,
Barry
we start
DiMarzo,
racing.
Brian B, JM Tracks,
So, yeah.
Sim Race 247,
That's
Com,
a
Grid Finder, Sim
change.
Grid,
So
Apex
yes, we will
Modding,
go
and Grand
green when
Touring
it
Group.
says green. That's
And
when
here we
race
have the
will
grid
start.
for today's
Don't wait
race.
till the start and
9
finish
cars
line.
across 2
Just
classes.
Start racing
Beginning with
when
PRO, top of the class, Daniel Kirby
says
in the
green,
number
green,
201 Lamborghini STC. At P2, Jay Tammy in the number 202 Lamborghini STC. Paul Ibbotson in the number
Beware, the,
165
safety car is
Lamborghini
hustling.
STC P3.
Yeah, he's moving.
P4, Norm Graf in the number 1 Lamborghini STC. Gilles Lalonde lines up P5 in the number 203 Lamborghini STC. Next up, AM at the front of the class, Olivier Gervais in the number 82 Lamborghini STC. Frank Radusty in the number 404 Lamborghini STC P2. P3, Carl Struhl in the number 42 Lamborghini STC. At P4, James Bowders in the number 92 Lamborghini STC.
I got you.
The Polesita takes the green. 9 cars now racing, 29 minutes of VR full course. AM PRO. Track temperature 45 degrees and it's dry out there for now. Olivier Gervais right on the gearbox, wheel to wheel, 0.5 seconds back. Issues for Paul Ibbotson in PRO. 3 cars scrapping over P1, Frank Radusty,
So-
Olivier Gervais and Carl Struhl. Paul Ibbotson slipped to 5th in class from 3rd in class. Let's see what happened. Back living AM Carl Struhl, now P2. On board with Carl Struhl, chasing Frank Radusty for the lead. And Paul Ibbotson drops out of the race from P5 in PRO. Karl Struhal under pressure from James Bowders for second in class. Wheel to wheel for second now. In PRO, Daniel Kirby tops the times, 1:43.4. Frank Radosti closing on the PRO of Gilles Lalonde. James Bowders all over Karl Struhal for second. James Bowders consistently faster through the first sector. Frank Radosti reeling in the PRO of Gilles Lalonde. While we were elsewhere, Paul Ibbotson stopped on track on the formation lap. Back live in AM, and Karl Struhal is right in the thick of it. 3 cars nose to tail, Karl Struhal, Frank Radosti and James Bowders. The gap is stretching out for Olivier Gervais. The camera settles on Olivier Gervais in the AM. On board with Frank Radosti, catching the PRO of Gilles Alondra. Still 3 cars nose to tail, Karl Struhol, Frank Radosti and James Bowders. James Bowders is quicker on the power out of the final sector. Paul Ibbotson had a significant problem on the formation lap. Here's what we missed. And we're back live. AM James Bowders right in the mix. On board James Bowders chasing Karl Struhol for second. James Bowders gets a better exit from the final sector. Our camera's on Daniel Kirby in the PRO. On board with James Bowders, hunting Karl Struhol for second. James Bowders has the edge on entry to the first sector. on board with Frank Radosti, reeling in the PRO of Gilles Lalonde. Frank Radosti is faster in, but Karl Stroll gets the better exit from the first and final sectors. AM Olivier Gervais in trouble. Here's the replay. And we're back live. PRO Daniel Kirby up to P1. Onboard camera on Daniel Kirby in the PRO. Daniel Kirby breaking deeper into the first sector. Conditions getting warmer, 29 degrees in the air. Gilles Lalonde started P5 in PRO and has worked up to P3, 2 places made. Can he hold on to this podium spot? Watch the incident. Join the AM action, James Bowder's running P3. Let's look back at when Olivier Gervais came to a halt on lap 6. Back live in AM, James Bowder's now P3. On board with James Bowders, still after Karl Schuchel for second. Trackside with Olivier Gervais in the AM. Trackside with Karl Schuchel in the AM. Norm Graf has problems in PRO. Let's see what happened. And we're back live, PRO Daniel Kirby up to P1. While we were elsewhere, Norm Graf stopped on track on lap 7. We rejoin the AM action, Karl Schuchel running P2. On board with Karl Schuchel, chasing Frank Radosti for the lead. Karl Schuchel's P1 in AM. Lalonde holding P3. Olivier Gervais had a significant problem on lap 7. Here's what we missed. We rejoin the AM order. James Bowders in a fast-changing fight. James Bowders all over Karl Struhal for the lead. James Bowders has had over a minute of this duel and still no way through. The lap times are starting to drop off for Karl Struhal. Let's look back at when Norm Graf came to a halt on lap 8. Back live in AM, James Bowders now P2. On board with James Bowders, chasing Karl Struhal for the lead. Issues for James Bowders in AM.
No reason for that.
Yeah, sorry, I tried to brake to let you pass, but you went ahead.
On the replay now.
Slow car.
And we're back
passes.
live. PRO Daniel Kirby up to P1. In the cockpit with Daniel Kirby in the PRO. Here's something interesting we missed. We rejoin the PRO action, JT Tammy running P2. The camera settles on J Tammy in the PRO.
Slow car heading to Hawkpen. Daniel Kirby extending the lead.
trouble for Olivier Gervais in AM. Here's the replay. Back live in PRO, Daniel Kirby, now P1. On board with Daniel Kirby in the PRO. While we were elsewhere, Olivier Gervais stopped on track on lap 11. And we're back live, PRO, JT Tammy up to P2, on board with J Tammy in the PRO. Daniel Kirby has been quicker, pulling away.
That's everybody.
All right. Well, I never thought that was going to happen.
This fucking car's trying to kill me.
No, they're all trying to kill us, man.
It's the fourth race I got wrecked out of.
I'm going to hit restart the warm up so we don't lose the rubber. Where is that? Restart the warm up. Yeah. And then I'll go in here and try to get this grid figured out. So bear with me, guys. I don't do this that often, but congratulations, everybody that finished. And that was something else. Man, Frank, I thought you were going to come get me for sure.
I was trying like hell, and that's the problem. I was trying too hard. I was overdriving it.
I kept listening. I saw your lap times, and I was like, dude, I am not fast enough for him. But I kept saying, just drive your pace, Carl, because if you try to go any faster, you're going to throw it away.
Norm,
yeah, I kind of lost my concentration when somebody went off in that back far corner going around where the oak tree used to be, and I had a hard time getting it back again after that.
Well, and you had those 2 spins, right? Because your second spin was probably due to hot tires, and I was like, maybe I got a chance.
Yeah, I had to I locked them up, I guess, trying to avoid the lap car, and then my tires were crap after that.
Good run, Daniel. Good run, JT.
Likewise, hanging on.
Yeah, basically. Norm, what's your worst tire? Front left or rear right? It's off to mitigate.
Well, James, sorry about that. I was faster than you in the S's there. I tried to unlock myself. When we went to that corner, I was braking to let you go because I realized I didn't have enough space, but you still took the line and I wasn't clear enough behind you, so I clipped you. Sorry about that. I had more pace, so I tried to unlock myself. My bad.
Yeah.
And Paul, I guess when I collected you in your spin, that probably did quite a lot of damage, I guess.
Well, the worst part was I ended up upside down.
Oh, yeah. Well, that destroyed my front splitter, so I had to go in the pit because otherwise I would have had no downforce.
Yeah, not your fault at all. I'd already lost the car, and
Yeah,
I was just in the way.
I was both feet on the brake, but couldn't not hit you.
Maybe that's how you get a stable Lambo. Take off the front splitter.
I thought of trying it for like a 1 lap, but I said, yeah, it's probably not a good idea.
It felt pretty stable on the roof.
The only time it was stable was when you're upside down.
Yep. So the unfortunate part when you pull the plug and then re-enter the game is you come back to the paddock with all the damage on your car.
Yeah, you still have to make it around to the pit to get it
do a
repaired.
lap before you can get repaired. Yeah. So I tried just shortcutting the lap, and it gave me a stop-go penalty.
That's why you stopped 3 times.
Yep. I also missed my pit limiter, so I got to drive through as well.
Ouch. Yeah, when I get damage, it's always, 140, 180 seconds repair because it's always major. Then at that point, my race is over.
Yeah.
I let you pass, James. I wanted you to.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you for that. I was, I'm coming out. I was had some fresh shoes on the car, and I had the red mist and catching up, but 2 laps down, I wasn't going to do anything except for maybe set fast lap.
Or maybe pass a Norm, and he would have done less points.
Yeah. I was closing in on him. I just didn't get there in time there at the end.
I got
Oh, you
this
did?
grid. I got the grid reverse, so
Okay,
we'll
good.
just run
So-
this. We'll do this. If y'all want to go out for this warm up, and when it runs out, we'll take to the track, and I mean it'll roll into the race, and we'll go racing. So everybody enjoy. And you got 5 minutes before we roll into the race.
Are you there, Norm?
Yeah.
Which tire wears the most, front left or rear right?
Shit, if I could tell, they were just
Mine was left front.
gone. I mean, there was like just no grip anywhere all of a sudden.
That's because you went too high, and they all you had grease. They became grease. You have to watch them and slack off.
I wasn't even pushing that hard. It just like lap 7 or 8, man. They just quit turning, quit gripping.
Well, I guess I'm pushing too much out of corners because my worst one was the rear left.
Watch your
Sounds like
inside.
you were probably spinning it a little bit.
Yeah, that's what I was doing. So I reduced some rear camber.
I thought I was last in that first race.
Yeah, you were.
Looks like Carl put you as first.
Yeah, I saw that. We'll ask him at.
So it should be that the top 6 get reversed.
What was that? Is
Starting-
it a problem or no? I'm sorry, I just got back.
Hey, Carl, for James and I was last in the first race, but was that like a random thing that James is first for the second race?
Yeah, this first through 6 got dropped to 9th through 3rd or 4th, and
I
then
see.
you three got the 3 behind were a random generator.
Got it.
It's okay, Paul. You've got the better line into turn 1.
All right, that session has ended. All right, 1 minute to the start of the race.
Let's try not to redo the same thing, Paul.
Yeah, I'll try.
Or do it better.
Like when I saw you spinning, I wasn't sure which side to go. Do I go on the left or do I go on the right? I went on the right, but you spun across the track and I got you square on.
I got stop and go penalty. Do I have?
Already?
I think it'll clear.
Yeah, it cleared. It's not on my pit.
Good luck, everybody.
Daniel Kirby moves into P1 in PRO. Our camera's on Norm Graf in the PRO. Track temperature 46 degrees, and it's dry out there for now. On board with Frank Radosti, chasing Olivier Gervais for the lead. Trouble for Paul Ibbotson in PRO. Olivier Gervais, closing on the PRO of Gilles Lalonde. Frank Radosti right on the gearbox, wheel to wheel, 0.6 seconds back. On board with James Bowders, chasing Karl Struhal for third. Olivier Gervais has problems in AM. Frank Radosti holds P1 in AM. On board with Paul Ibbotson in the PRO. Let's see what happened. Back live in PRO, and Norm Graf is right in the thick of it. The camera settles on Norm Graf in the PRO. Karl Struhal works past the AM of Olivier Gervais. Here's James Bowders' pass on Olivier Gervais in AM. On board with James Bowders, hunting second. And we're back live. PRO, Gilles Lalonde right in the mix. On board with Gilles Lalonde, chasing Norm Graf for second. Gilles Lalonde, still in the fight for second in class. Second lap of this scrap. Ten minutes to go. Gilles Lalonde still won't give up this fight.
On board with James Bowders, chasing Karl Struhel for second.
Nothing between them. Here's something interesting we missed. Backlib in AM, James Bowders now P3. On board with James Bowders, hunting Karl Struhel for second. James Bowders on the move in AM, up to P2. Here's that AM pass by Olivier Gervais on Karl Struhel. And we're back live. PRO JT Tammy up to P2. On board with J Tammy, catching the AM of Frank Radowski. While the action has quieted down, let's revisit an earlier moment. On board with Frank Radowski, catching the PRO of J Tammy. We rejoin the PRO action, Daniel Kirby running P1. On board with Daniel Kirby in the PRO. Daniel Kirby is making time through the middle sector. Daniel Kirby carries more speed through the middle sector. Our camera's on James Bowders in the AM. Let's look back at something we missed earlier. We rejoin the aim order, Olivier Gervais in a fast-changing fight. On board with Olivier Gervais, chasing James Bowders for second. Norm Graff holding station on the lead lap, chasing Gilles Lalonde, the P3 in class. While we were elsewhere, Gilles Lalonde stopped on track on lap 12. Back living PRO, Daniel Kirby now P1. Riding on board with Daniel Kirby in the PRO. Remaining. Daniel Kirby has the advantage through the middle sector. The middle sector is where Daniel Kirby is quicker. Here's something interesting we missed. Issues for Olivier Gervais in AM. And we're back live, PRO, JT Tammy up to P2. Our cameras on Olivier Gervais in the AM. Karl Struhal gets it done into P3 AM. And Olivier Gervais drops out of the race from P4 in AM. Our cameras on Daniel Kirby in the PRO. Daniel Kirby carries more speed through the middle sector. PRO Jet Tammy in trouble. Our cameras on J Tammy in the PRO. Race complete. Onto cooldown. Daniel Kirby takes the PRO win. Second in PRO goes to Jay Tammy. P3 in PRO, Gilles Lalonde. Victory in AM for Frank Radosti. Runner-up in AM, James Bowders. Third in
that'll
AM
be
is Carl
everybody since
Struhal.
I was last.
Norm Graff, home P4 in PRO. Our coverage of NARS Super
Well,
Trofeo Cup on
congratulations
Champion
to our
Motorsports,
class
Storm Gang
winners,
Simulation,
Daniel
Optical Dream Soft,
and
Ozerdigan
JT
Design,
and
Haley
Gilles
Ritchie,
and the
Barry
pro, and
DiMarzo,
look at
Brian.
that, Frank, fourth. Good job, bud.
Thanks.
And James in second in AM, and woo-wee, third in AM, Carl.
Yeah, Frank gave me his third.
JT, that was a really good recovery. You running all the way back up there.
Yeah, thanks, man. I'm sorry about that. I got way too close to you there. Going in turn 10.
Yeah, it happens.